The sun doesn't ask for permission to break the horizon. It simply rises and changes everything. In the Visayan spirit, we call those first life-optimizing rays of the sun Bidliseo. It is the energy of a new dawn, and it can be a spark of a leadership revolution. Welcome to Bidliseo, Transcending Regenerative Leadership Vodcast. We are moving past the ecosystem of the lone hero and the era of extraction. Simply sustaining a broken world is a mission of the past. We are here to transcend. We are here to master ecosystem leadership, the art of nurturing the whole, leading like a forest where every connection creates life and every ripple restores the system. I'm Jacqueline Lui, your host, and here we will have conversations around bridging the gap between ancient wisdom and future-ready systems to shift from depletion to renewal. The light is breaking, the system is breathing. Let's lead the transition with every meaningful conversation. Hi, Jong. Hello, Ryan and Eric. So welcome to our leadership conversations. So this is our way of celebrating the 50th anniversary of Movimentum. So, and today, December 18, it's really the start or the birth of Movimentum, and I'm very deeply honored to have you here tonight. So our conversations will be around transcendence, the leadership beyond the bottom line, and deeper than dividends. So what is this all about? We'll be exploring this in these conversations today. And I also welcome all the leaders, may they be self-leaders, people leaders, and even ecosystem leaders, or even change leaders, those leaders who are change makers and the beacons of hope, taga-dala ng liwanag sa buhay ng iba. So I welcome all of you here in this conversation today. So, and wherever you are, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you, wherever you are, when you are bumping into this video that we have in this conversation. So yes, we will have leadership conversations that centers on transcendence, leadership beyond the bottom line, deeper than dividends. So just to have a same page understanding on what transcendence is, it is the conscious expansion of one's circle of care, concern, and identity, coming from the place of courage, compassion, and curiosity. And that is beyond the immediate self, moving towards deeper interconnection with others, systems, nature, and time. And that is our collective self. So in these conversations, we will be exploring how do we co-create an ecosystem, and that is already a transcendence. So it is an antidote to fragmentation, egocentrism, and even short-termism. So we would like to explore how infinite we can be, especially in building life together as leaders. So I am joined here by our colleagues, so they are my friends, they are my colleagues in the practice, and I'm deeply honored to have them joining us here tonight. So we are joined here by one entrepreneur, so one also of the founders of iStack, so and who really advocates sustainability and promotes meaningful partnerships and has a heart focused intention on living the best life every moment. And I would like to welcome Eric Diente.
Good evening.
So yeah, good evening, Eric. So our next guest who graces our space here with us today is the HR manager of a Japanese multinational company carrying an American brand based in Singapore and operating in the Philippines. He is a graduate of BS Architecture and discovered his true compelling call in HR, where he built a dynamic career for 30 years, handling multiple and diverse disciplines. Today, he leads the HR Center of Excellence that enables engagement culture through innovative people programs while providing leadership in the organization's corporate social responsibility programs towards environmental sustainability and stakeholders development. Let us all welcome with Wilfred Oville Jr., or known as Papa John.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you for the invite, Miss Jack.
All right, thank you. I'm equally deeply honored as well, John. And of course, joining us here is a strategic learning and organizational development leader with a PhD in organization studies and over 2 decades of progressive experience in HR, production, and organizational transformation within a Japanese multinational agricultural company. Specializes in building competencies, leadership pipelines, and high performance cultures with a proven track record of driving business transformation and operational excellence in complex multicultural environments. Help me welcome Dr. Ryan Pauses.
Good evening, Miss Jackie. It's my pleasure to be with respected and highly known participants.
Yeah, and thank you so much, to John, Ryan, and Eric, So, I would like also to introduce myself, So, I am the founding CEO. CEO means Chief Ecosystem Officer, of Movimentum Leadership, So, I have founded this in December 18, So, 2020, and it's our 5th year anniversary. And our way of celebrating, as mentioned a while back, is to have these leadership conversations and learn from the experiences, authentic experiences of our guests today. So tonight we are not talking about leadership that that perhaps scales up, in terms of profit, but we will be talking about leadership that heals. So please, if you have some comments or suggestions or any ideas, feel free to join us or send us your message below, in our video. So I would like to begin our conversation here by asking, who are you beyond your resume? So transcending yourself from the filters of what life is, like your rank, your role, and even your name, your location, your achievements. Who are you, the essence of you? Can we start with you, Eric?
Sure. So, again, deeply honored to sharing these moments with these great leaders. So to start with, um, I should say, I would like to introduce myself being part in a big family. Actually, uh, I'm the eighth of the nine children of nanay and tatay. So should I say at the age of 28, I became an orphan. Yet those experiences, the loss, the hardships, made me a person of who I am today, which I could say at the early age, the moments that I shared with Nanay together in the marketplace is an instrument of who I am right now. A leader with who aims for sustainability and continuously learning uh to become a better person every day. So I think that's the thing that comes in my heart and in my mind when you ask me that question or when you ask me that introduction, Coach Jack.
Thank you so much, Eric. It sounds to me that there is so much love for growth, of learning about the experiences of the past, and these experiences of the past allow you also to be who you are today. Thank you so much, Eric. So I would like to welcome as well, Jong, in the same question of who are you beyond? If you are going to transcend from the achievements and the ranks and the wonderful experiences you have as a leader, who are you, the essence of you?
Well, if you did not frame it well, Miss Jackie, it's actually a difficult question. So, because we are so used to, tying up our identity based on what we do, di ba? So, if I stop at describing myself as husband and father, for me that would suffice already. Okay. So, at the end of the day, literally and figuratively, I shift to this mode and it's something I love to do best. So what I do is important, but my being is where I anchor my significance. So that's me with my family. So it's interesting really that we're starting off with our essence now. This is something I personally advocate, to stop trying or tying our identity to our character or to our career. No, our business cards should not be our biographies. Okay, I always say that. So if I may share, actually, I went through, I think Ryan as well, I went through a self-awareness program. And in one of the exercises, we're led to search our true self, no, beyond labels. So I reckon myself as God's lighthouse. So I believe I am built on solid rock. So standing on a hill, yet vulnerable to storms. So I liken myself as a beacon in the dark. I serve as a welcome mat to voyagers, no, adrift at sea. So I don't dash to the ocean to rescue ships. I just stand here shining, and my keeper is the source of my light.
Wow, that's so beautiful, no? It's so soothing and it's so calming, no? So thank you so much, John, for sharing the essence, your beingness here in this space. Thank you so much. Deeply honored. What about you, Ryan?
Hello, Miss Jack. Thank you for the opportunity again. So to connect with Kuya Jong, that Kuya Jong shared. Actually, I remember Kuya Jong. Mine is I'm God's beloved son. That's mine. So to connect with the question of Miss Jackie, actually, my I will focus more on my purpose, no, my purpose in the organization and as a person. So Miss Jackie really know that I'm a passionate person. No? I am someone who measures life by the value I add to the people around me. So my purpose is value adding, no, in connection with God's beloved son. Since I am God's beloved son, so I will also love all the people, no, or love all the son of God. So by doing that, I should add value. So when I add value in my organization, I create programs to make them better than I found them. So that's who am I? Who I am, Miss Jackie. So that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ryan. No? So resonating with me that you stayed with leadership purpose, no, or the purpose of who you are that you have already defined, no, for yourself. So thank you for that sharing, and it is so wonderful. And of course, I would like also to share with you what's really the essence of me as well, no. I usually try to change as well the way I introduce myself. And this has been very significant, especially when I um, retired, re-hyphen tired, no, from the corporate, and that was in 2020. And I would love to describe myself or introduce myself as an articulation of life, particularly of regenerative life, no, a regenerative growth. And I am here not to really provide a space for everyone, a regenerative safe space, wherein everyone will be inspired to also achieve a regenerative growth so that others can transcend life of radiant new beginnings. And it really gives me so much joy, especially when I have conversations like this and people that I am having conversations with will really have the glowing smile, radiant smile after every conversation. And I experienced that every time I have coaching conversations, especially with leaders. So thank you so much for sharing that. So coming from that introductions, beautiful and wonderful introductions about life, what I am hearing from the three of you is really about how special life is that you have fully lived, you know. With that, what is really the belief or value you hold that fundamentally shapes how you move through the world that you are in, or the world with others? No, what are these values that guided you, or beliefs that you are anchoring on? And anyone can start.
Miss Jack, I think I will start, no, since I'm the
Sure.
last one. So, for me, in connection to my, again, to what I'm doing in the organization and also in life, I believe that people do not resist change, no? But, no, as I always talk with Kuya Jong, they resist experiences, no? Where they are not understood, and at the same time where they are not inspired. When we intentionally shape the mindset of our people, why it matters. Actually, Miss Jack, I have my own framework in the on how I run my section in learning and organizational development, and that is it focus on three M's: mindset, method, and motivation. And I make sure that when I have this program, I make sure that I shift the mindset of my people, of our employee. No, it means to say that the why, the why should matters, and for the method, I make sure that it is being strengthened. No, it's being standardized. So I should make sure that it is shown how it is done well, and then I make sure also that the motivation part should be sustained, no? So that I make sure that the why it is worth is continuing. So they must understand that one. So that people will naturally grow. Because in my framework, Miss Jack and Kuya Jong and Sir Eric, I believe that sustainability of the programs or sustainability of the people in the organization matters when we have the mindset, the method, and the motivation. And I always frame it on sa isip, no? Sa isip, sa puso, at sa gawa. So when we create programs, dapat hindi siya hilaw, no? Dapat hindi yung mindset lang because our people will be burned out. No, hindi yung pwedeng method lang but they don't know what they're doing, at hindi pwedeng motivated lang sila dahil malaki yung sweldo nila. So, in order, no, I believe, no, in order to make our program sustainable, dapat kasama yung tatlo, no, mindset, method, and motivation. So, these beliefs, Miss Jack, no, shapes how I move through the world to our organization. So, I design the systems that honors our the dignity of our employee. Now, build their capability with discipline and create meaning. So performance is not forced but sustained. So I'm more on sustainability. So that is my belief, Miss Jackie.
That's
Thank
so
you.
easy to understand or recall, no? There's 3M, starts with the mindset, and then how you are going to make it happen, the method,
Yeah.
no? And the motivation as well, no? So that's so beautiful. Thank you so much, Ryan. Anyone
Thank
else
you.
like to follow Ryan?
Yeah, actually, for me, when you ask about fundamental values that we hold deeply, no, this is actually a tough one to filter, no. I like to think that our belief system is really shaped by both by genetics and environment. So, is how we're raised, no, experiences, daily decisions. So eventually, it becomes us, no, and yet we remain a work in progress. So for me, my POV, next POV is look for the good. No, people become their best selves and do their best work when they feel seen and valued. So that's how I always, look at from within and towards others.
When you see people as people, no, they will also like also bring out the best in them as people as well, because they are being regarded and being seen and being felt as human beings. Thank you, John. Yes, Eric.
Yes. So in a perspective of uh or dealing with students at the same time dealing with the team, something that I realized recently that drives in the leadership style that I have is by giving the chance to be heard, or by giving the person the chance to be heard. Meaning the chance that you have to be a good listener to them. Apart from, because if you have established and given them the chance to speak and listen to their sentiments, to their feelings, that's the time you can build the trust. And once uh actions to be followed, kung ano yung sinabi mo, and you honor with that commitment with that person, that strengthens the trust, and camaraderie follows, and at the same time where excellence will just naturally comes out in the process. So I think that's the thing that I'd like to share about the statement that, or the insights that you'd like to ask Jack.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eric. No, it sounds to me like how you really define the shared identity, the collective self when you are interacting with others. So coming also from Ryan, who's also thinking about how the mindset, how the methods and how you can motivate others. So still it talks about kauban. It still talks about kapwa, it still talks about how you are with others and how others with you. Same with Jong, it's about being valued and being seen. And it's still about our collective self. No? It is still about our shared identity. No? So same with Eric. Um, in my 13 coaching sessions, I think, I was able also to find the values, and I always love to have acronym, for the values, for easier understanding. And whenever I make challenging decisions, especially a very difficult one, I always go back and reference to these values, and I call this as STARK. So S is for stewardship, T is for transcendence, and A is for adaptability. Especially if I feel like the situation is so challenging, and there are values that are also being challenged in that particular situation, I always go back to this letter A, which is how can I adapt? No, so, and also the R is regenerative. How can I let go of things, especially of mental habits or mental patterns that don't already serve the current situation that I am in? And of course, the C is on co-creation. No, so those are the values that really guided me, and I'm always trying my best not to follow that and make that as a reference whenever I make decisions, whenever I feel strongly for a certain situation, or whenever I feel like, why is it that I am having that a very high or intense emotion to this person or to this situation? What values that I feel like violated, or values that I feel celebrated? No, so those are on my part. So given with all of those that you have shared a while back, and these are very crisp sharing, of your life, that these are already stories that you have already harnessed through times and harnessed as well through other people. If you can share a story from any point in your life, coming from perhaps those 30 years or even more, that imprinted upon you what true leadership or service feels like for you. And anyone can share or can start sharing. Anyone
I
who
will,
is ready?
I,
Yeah,
I
go
will
ahead.
go first again, Miss Jack, no? Maski na
Sure.
kurang murag ka ng kuan kaayo, di ba? Ah,
I
so,
love that.
as,
I love that gregariousness, Ryan. Go ahead.
yeah, just to go first. No, so, share a story from any point in your life that, ano yan, Miss Jack, imprinted upon you of what true leadership or service feels like. When I joined the organization, Miss Jack, uh, I really feel that leadership, great power comes with great responsibility. So when I joined the organization, it's hard for me because I will try to show to everyone that I can do the job. No. That's why I go around the clusters. I go around the clusters and lead the programs. But at the same time, I show to my people that I can do my programs. So leadership is not easy. Leadership should be coming from the heart. Because if you don't know what you are doing, then you cannot sustain or you cannot go the extra mile. So leadership must be lead by the heart. So that is leadership for me, Miss Jack.
Beautiful, no? It's being guided by the intelligence of your heart, Ryan, no? And collectively, you become intelligent on in terms of what are the things being done here, or what are the culture, or what are the ways of life, no? And it's not only that, but as well as you also model to them what you can also do and what intelligence you can also complement, no, with the people around you or the people that you are leading. And this is being guided greatly, no, by the intelligence of your heart. Thank you so much, Ryan, no? Anyone would like to follow Ryan?
Yes, Miss Jack.
Go ahead, Eric.
Yes. Think siguro the thing that I could remember always is the story of humility. The story of humility journey in leadership. Because there are cases that you will meet different kinds of people. People who are more intelligent than yours. People who are new learners. People who are equally intelligent with you. People who have different culture, different belief system. And uh staying good, meaning doing good all the time, kasi it doesn't need to be doing right all the time. What is more important is doing what is good. Sometimes you don't need to fall or to fight or to let's say prove to everybody that you are right, and that's your humility is being tested and in different people. So something that a great leaders, which later on I realized I want to advocate on that, that one of the great characteristics of being a leader is to be remain humble all the time in moments of success, in moments of failures, in moments of difficult times. So there are different versions of stories that I experienced in the past where your there is a test of humility within with you, how to accept defeat, how to accept uh, how to react in success moments without and remaining on the ground, which I realized later on is that every moments in our life we need to celebrate, we need to feel those good or bad emotions. So I'd like to share that my realization, once you feel whatever emotions of that, So ramdamin natin, saya, lungkot, ighati, kailangan talagang ramdamin. Now, if it is some after you feel that emotions, whatever kind of emotion, success or failures, kailangan downward ka agad yung directions. Meaning, sa ilalim ng paa or kanang, I mean, you have to, the directions, you guide that emotions, dapat sa ilalim lang ng paa. Kasi once you allow it to transcend or to go pataas, upward, sa iyong ulo, so that it could be success or pain. If that is success, lalaki ang ulo. If that is a pain, you will be anxious or depressed or being negative. So that's the journey, or I mean, that's the story of leadership that I have right now, which I want to be reminded always.
Wow, so beautiful, no? That it's really a ground intelligence, and it speaks a lot about humility intelligence, no? Na when you are humble, you are open from others' perspectives. You will not think that you are better than others, or what I am really taking away from that, Eric, is separating ego, no, from ideas, no, and building ideas rather than being bruised, no, or feeling that your ego is being bruised, no, and that is already emotional leadership, no. How do you really lead your emotions well, that will support you and will also support others? No, I love how you pictured it out, the ground up. Jong, you were unmuting yourself right away, no, from Eric, and
Yeah,
I'm so excited what
because
you would like to
I
share.
really love what Eric shared because I'd like to piggyback on that because uh, I've I've had so many bosses before, and there's one particular person who I really look up to, and I always honor him, you know, when it comes to leadership. And he has that kind of trait, no, the humility. So whether we like it or not, I mean, you agree with me that we're really shaped or even triggered by the leaders before us, you know. So to me, he modeled that, no. So I saw many qualities that to me it's a definition of what true leadership is, no, and it starts there, no, because we often put leadership in a pedestal, but in reality, they should be grounded, no. So I love that how he related to us, uh, and how he impacted my life, no. We become through validation. So sometimes, or at that time actually, I wasn't aware that I have that kind of quality, and yet he brings that, no, he brings that out of me. And often he notices my worth, no. So having that awareness, I have that respect now for anyone in the organization, no. So with the intention of spotting and raising more leaders as well, because to me we have no monopoly in that regard, no. We're here to multiply. So it's just passing on, no, what he has shown me. So it's just, you know, how he modeled it to me, I'm now doing it to others.
Oh, so beautiful, no? That modeling is so big, no? It is so essential, and it is so impactful. Yes, right. We're unmuting yourself.
Yes, I agree with Kuya Jong na that Kuya Jong is modeling it now and he is mentoring also, no? Unknowingly, I don't know if he knows it, but unknowingly, I know I'm learning from Kuya Jong, no? So not
Wow.
only from Kuya Jong, but from also from Kuya Jules, no? Our fellow managers in because they're 30 years in the organization. 35 years yata, Kuya Jong, si Kuya Jules. So they're mentoring me, maybe because of their experience that leaders before them mentor them also, teach them on how to become a good leaders. I agree with that.
Wow. So so rich, no? If only we will always take on the experiences of others before us, it will already put so much richness, no, in our experiences, and learn from that, bring that with us, as we are also growing our own leadership or unlearning our own leadership through learning from others as well. So thank you so much, no, for sharing your deep introductions, no, about life in leadership.
Naturally, before the forest grows, the soil must be prepared. That is what we've done here today. We have planted the vital seeds of regenerative transcendence. In the episodes to follow, we're going deeper. We will sit with the pioneers, the rebels, and the visionaries who are already leading like a forest, proving that we can build systems that heal as they grow. But for now, the question stays with you. In your own sphere of influence, where can you be the first ray of light? How will you begin to transcend? Thank you for joining me for this prequel to Bidliseo, Transcending Regenerative Leadership. The dawn has broken, the transition is here, and our journey is just beginning, one meaningful conversation at a time. Until we connect again, I leave you now to compose today's insights into tomorrow's wisdom. Our shared energy here transcends this space. Carry it forward.